Hello everyone, welcome back to Recycling Station. Happy Domain, where people will get to watch the videos about the process of restoring old tools to make those things from old objects return to its original perfect look. In this video, everyone will witness the restoration of a handheld wood planer. Looking at the outside, it looks really old, and it looks like it's no longer usable because its blade is too worn out. It has been in production since 1877. Back then, there were no industrial planers like there are now. Sure, everyone please look forward to it. Limited edition planer. This is an extremely meticulous restoration process. The restorer's skills are also very skilled. Some problems were discovered during the cutting process. The blade is not the original blade. Therefore, it cannot be fixed with an iron. So the installation of components here is also wrong. For exact information, please see the image on the right. There is also a missing blade here. Fix the bolts with iron. If installed correctly, just like this, achieved through a volatility adjustment mechanism, fine-tune the knife depth. Currently, we have not yet introduced super experts on this issue, but saw this board. Everyone should know too. The great master of these is Janus. Talented mechanical man. This flatbread knife includes a wooden base and metal tool holder. This combination appeared mainly in the 19th century, from the second half of the night to the first half of the 20th century. It's a wooden bag knife and an iron bag. Product transitions between knives. Graphic indicator knife. Usually the final step in woodworking. Used for smooth surfaces. Of course, there are many types of woodworking reports. In addition to printed newspapers, there are also partial knives, cutting knife, elbow knife, etc., and many other types. Mr. Janus restored one at that time. Stanley's score. So now the mechanical department has complete comprehensive print report. Cutting process. You can proceed to the next repair step. First, use warm soap immediately. Water washes these wooden parts in one round. Then use a cleaning spoon to clean these metals. The connections have also undergone a major cleaning. Then it's time to clean the painted door. Use paint remover. Paint removal treatment. After applying evenly, wait half an hour. You can use a copper brush to remove it. Old paint peeling. Then use rust remover. Remove rust from metal key doors after removing paint. I will tackle this problem to completely remove the rust. He rubbed it with a scouring pad for more than 2 hours. So now the parts are cleaned. You can officially enter the repair process. First things to do. This is done using sandmow, wooden base, for cracks to appear. GJ chose to use the surrounding branches for filling and binding. If the color of the plastic winding is too sudden, you can also add some wood chips to the branches to make the colors more harmonious. Just now, Jan also used a spray gun. Push the branch deep into the crack to achieve better bonding effect. After 24 hours, the cracks were glued and sealed. Keegan will then use the latch method. Fill crooked holes at the bottom of the queue. After drilling again, apply white latex to holes and wooden bridges, and hit the rock. Wait for the white latex to dry. You can cut off the excess wood salt and polish each end of the drop to straighten it. Remove lint from the wood salt and hydrocoat the base and traces of oxidation. After sanding the dust, except the bottom, other parts of basic science, covered with a layer of varnish to protect the wood, because the bottom surface needs friction and continuous friction. So, you just need to ensure flatness. Just wait for the paint to dry. The wooden base will then be processed. Mounting holes above, it needs to be marked during final assembly. This wooden handle, the same operation is performed for transfer. However, after the adhesion cracks have been flattened and flattened, dyeing. The next step is intermetallic processing. Used to portable iron blocks with clamps. You can remove the support that is stuck due to rusted stones. Remove the bolt securing the bracket. You can see this bolt is in the groove. There are bruises on the tail feathers. This is probably one of the reasons why it is difficult to remove. Next, we will mainly focus on this unique shape, travel stand, and other metal connections. Perform traditional polishing and reforming treatment. Removes rough spots and sharp edges. Chamfer the whole position. This is the fixed knob that has just been covered. For the ambiguous model above, a few had to use the wrong knife. Come and style him. Metal parts after dust treatment. Appearance and texture are inconsistent, so there are several ways to use sandblasting to unify the texture of the bow and arrow surface. So the spray material used this time is white, steel jade. After spraying, these departments have been unified. Nude-colored steel matte texture. But their appearance, there is still a certain degree of change. So Mr. G, use putty to treat these socks. Filling, in the usual Janus style, atomic ashes here. It must be applied densely. The dry principle dust is then sanded according to regulations. Then you can proceed to the next step of painting. First, spray the part with 1 coat. Light yellow 2-component primer. And in terms of area, that's it. I chose high gloss black paint color number 9005. Wait for the paint to dry. These painted keys will then be processed. Now let's deal with the support you just removed. Fixed bolt support. In addition to supporting the new framework, it, also with large fixed knob on the front, cooperate, holds the steel column cover in place. First, use a hammer and a small shuttle knife to clean the color groove. Edit shapes. Then use the window and polishing wheel to polish. So the bolt fixes the support. That's it. Just remove the shaft of this adjustment mechanism. He was treated the same way. The next step is the highlight of this video. I'm just saying that this blade is not the original Blockbuster. Mainly because of this large round hole. The position is reversed. It must be at the other end. To play. This is the full performance of a single vertical aircraft gun. So, he decided to use this steel plate. Make 1. Now 6 questions from Brother G. First, use a stand knife and a stainless steel knife. Make a circular adjustment hole exactly in the center of the steel plate. Then adjust the angle. Rinse the blade area. This replacement machine, use sandbags. The machine is polished to a hand-cut shape above the blade. Finally use sand. Detailed treatment of blade surface. So, the first step in making a blade. It was completed successfully. The second step is to use this new blade. Perform heat treatment. To enhance its mechanical properties, use the stainless steel collar to wind the blade. This can prevent the fruit from spoiling. Black oxide layer due to temperature. Besides, the steel he used this time was very good. The mold steel is so brittle these days. The mouth temperature is not more than 800 degrees like ordinary 4 or 5 cylinders. Instead, it was 1045 degrees and held for 20 minutes. Then use preheated oil at 60 degrees. Cool by kneading and blowing. After falling into the fire. Of course, it needs to be incubated to reduce hard force inside the blade. Put in the oven at 180 degrees. Keep warm for 1 hour. Repeat twice. Now the second heat treatment step has been completed successfully. The surface is then instructed to be polished. This completely new blade will then be created. Simple testing is very sharp. Processing this blanket is relatively simple. Just cut and bend the edges and polish them. The front of the iron has a certain curvature. As long as the adjustment is appropriate, this can ensure that the report will be released smoothly. Reduce friction. This is the main function of ironing. 2 things we're dealing with now. It is a prop used with an adjusting mechanism. Bolt and nut circumference depth adjustment. The raised part is on the bolt. Just to connect, the wheel adjusts the depth of the adjusting mechanism. Also, I said it from the beginning. Fixed bolt between blade and rear disc is missing, so the shell has to be remade. This is the prepare to mobilize specific acid. Next, we need to use the thermal greening method. Bake this 3-part green and black. So now all the parts, all have been repaired, can enter the final assembly process. The first thing to assemble is the depth adjustment mechanism. Apply a layer of lubricating paper. Then use fixed shout to install it in place. Grooves on the adjustment wheel. That's the adjustment pin of the rear iron. Used in combination. Then place the wooden base of the knife arch and boat frame and the ball handle in front. Assemble with screws. You can then assemble the blade. First remove the fixing bolts, and the depth adjustment pin is installed on the cup and saucer. Then install the blade with a set of labels. After tightening the fixing bolts, then the blades, cups and plates are fixed. Finally, he made it a logo. Install the lever cover. So this is from Stanley. Handheld model manufactured in 1877. The flap blast knife has officially been repaired. Waiting for the light, waiting for the light. This is the interface after the repair is complete. Next, compare the situation before and after repair. Before repair. In a history of nearly 150 years. Even though time did not give me this opportunity, the bread knife deals a fatal blow. But many traces of the years have left behind. Currently, The traces of time have been preserved by Janus with his exquisite craftsmanship. Wipe gently, he is still the same person from that day. But I'm wearing the same clothes with short hair. Become majestic, and Ichi's recovery is truly amazing. What is being proven is how to adjust the organization, to adjust tool depth. But this correction is just possible. Make fine adjustments within a certain range. Major adjustments also need to start from the tool section. Now, is the final performance? You can see that it is very effective to use. So that's the video to fix this problem. Thank you everyone for watching. Happy times pass very quickly. I want to say goodbye to everyone again. Goodbye. Thank you again for coming to Recycling Station. Happy domain.